and welcome back to my channel. This video is the first of the 3 video series that I'm planning to make for a live mid-year reset. If you've been following along, I started my monthly resets this year, and I started off with making big goals, more like financially focused, but also including some of my personal and career goals. And as the month ends, I reflect on how I did and what I'm planning to do different, if anything, for the new or current month. Because usually these are very long, and because it is halfway down the year, I want to make sure that I actually take a deep look into what the last few months have been and really reflect on that, aside from just reflecting on the previous month, so May. And that's why I'm breaking this one into 3 different months. So first one of this series is going to be the monthly reflection from the previous month, as well as all of the last few months, and just getting a check on how I've been doing. I collect data on myself every month, every single day, every week actually, and so I can show you and walk you through how I'm doing a data-based approach on my goals. And so we can do that, and the following video will be prepping myself for the next month. I also just came back from vacation halfway down the month, and that's why this video is coming out a little bit late. But yeah, so it's just basically definitely resetting, unpacking, doing the laundry from all the travel, doing the laundry from this week, and just basically setting new goals and intentions for this new month of June. And finally, my last video will be just a complete physical reset of my place. I do want to start decluttering things that do not longer serve me, that I'm just not using at all, and it's going to be a hard one because I like to keep my things. But yeah, we'll go through that, do decluttering of my closet, the kitchen, everywhere, and hopefully get started on new things. Hopefully that doesn't mean buying things, but if it does, hopefully it's to make things better around the house. Summer is coming, so I want to be ready for summer. I want to finish up my patio, and if I feel like barbecuing something for lunch on a Saturday, I can do that and feel comfortable. So that's what this series is going to be about, and I'm just going to get started with the month of May. Okay, so at the beginning of the year, I brainstormed about the things that I wanted to accomplish for this year, and I have a whole laundry list of goals and aspirations that I want to still accomplish this year. And some of them I've been tracking on my monthly reset. Some of the ones that I have not been tracking, but are still like in the back of my mind and somewhat working on it, but without really tracking the progress of it, are, for example, continue to practice my Portuguese. That is something that I can say that I've been doing maybe more often now or recently than at the beginning of the year. It's actually not true. I've usually always practiced Portuguese, and I think right now I feel good where I'm at, so I'm not going to push myself into making it a daily thing. So that's still there. Run a marathon. I really wanted to run a marathon, but right now something is going on with my knees, or my left knee actually, and I cannot run more than certain distance until it starts hurting. So I don't have big hopes for that one, but I'm going to see a therapist, a physical therapist, so hopefully that'll help me resolve some of that, and maybe I do end up doing a full marathon this year. Anyway, So the other things are start meditation, go back to therapy. um, I want to learn how to make sourdough. Last year that was something that I didn't get to do. I had my starter and everything, but I never actually made it. And yeah, learn how to fly fish. That's another one. Learn pottery. That's another one. And learn woodworking. I have all these learned things that I want to do. Um, I just need to make more time for it, I think. So those are all my personal improvements. For career goals is, well, I wanted to register for coding classes, but I don't know if I'm gonna get that. Reach 5K subscribers on YouTube. This is also a personal goal, more of a personal goal. It's not a job, it's not a career or anything, but it will be nice if I got to 5,000K subscribers by the end of this year, which I don't know if I'm gonna get there because it's only like in the 300s right now, so we'll see. And yeah, getting comfortable with being rejected. That just means me trying out for things. So one of the main things is applying for jobs that either not like too serious about getting, but just to get a practice in the interview process and just, getting that sensation when you're feeling nervous about something but you still do it. Like I want to practice that more and more so I become more comfortable with those feelings. So that is with career. And the main goals for me this year, or I should say like the ones that I am constantly working towards tracking every single thing on, are my financial goals. I have some student debt, I have some big savings goals, and also net worth goals. And for me to accomplish that, I need to obviously, I feel like it's obvious, but track it, because in that way I can react and see what things I could do different so that I can meet those goals by the time that I want to meet them, which is by the end of this year. And so that hopefully, because I have future goals in the next year and next 5 years and so on, and so before I can even work on those future goals, I need to set myself during this time to meet the goals that are short term. I don't know, it all sounds really obvious, I think. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, I'm slow, but like that is how I'm seeing it, and so that's why I'm tracking it, and that's also why I'm documenting it. And so yeah, I'll jump into those main goals, which are my financial goals, and I give you the KPIs, the summary of what it's been like. And yeah, also I wanted to mention this card that I got from one of the dresses that I bought many months ago, I think. It's from a brand called Vivre la Vie, Living Life. I don't think it's famous at all or brand name or whatever, but I kept it because of the card that comes, or like the phrase that comes in the back. And I just kept it to remind me, or to, keep me motivated in doing all of this. And that is this. I don't know if it's gonna read it, but it says, compassion over everything, and along the way, make your dreams so big that you have to reinvent yourself to meet them. It is so good, and I really recommend it if you want to like put it on a sticky note and just remind yourself about it. So, as I had mentioned before, at the beginning of the year, I set myself three major financial goals. One of them, it is to pay 60% down of my debt that I accumulated as a student. The other is to contribute to my emergency fund, increase it by 50% from what I had initially. And the third one is to mainly stick to my budget so that I can accomplish those two goals. And so at the end of every month, I have been going into my tracking file and seeing what the difference has been from the previous month. And if I met the goal percentage by percentage of progress. And so, as you can see on this chart right here, I am showing basically what I have started the beginning of the year in January, February, March, April, and then now until May. And so, right here on the red line, you can see that that is the goal. So, 60% of liability down. And beginning of the year, I needed to make a 5% progress towards it. And so every month that if I did that, I will be able to accomplish that at the end of the year. However, I did meet it on the first month, but in February, that actually failed to actually less than one full percent. And so I tried again in March, and that actually got me to 2%, but not quite the 5%. And so I needed to reassess and see what things I needed to change and how I needed to adjust now my goal for the remainder of the year, which brought me to a 6% goal for the remainder of the months, which I did hit in April. But then again, last month, I only reached a 4% of my liability payment or liability down, paid down, liability paid down to, anyway, just a 4% progress towards that goal. And so this is a KPI basically of my first, the main goal, which is the one marked in red, 6% down liability. The next one is my 50% increase of my emergency savings. And you see, I started strong at the beginning of the year with a 60% contribution towards those savings, and then it went down in February to a 4%, then up again to an 8% in March, another 8% in April, and then finally last month a 14%. And so I can see now where it is that I'm lagging, or just where I can make adjustments to reassess my goals and see like where I really want to make this 60% liability down by the end of the year, which means that I need to be a little bit less aggressive towards my uh, emergency fund contribution. And although that feels a little bit like you always hear about like pay yourself first and all this and that. I am in a position where I have enough savings that I can slow that a little bit so that I can concentrate on my other goal, which is paying liability down. And I need to get that in my head because having this liability is costing me more than I'm actually gaining from my emergency savings accumulation. And so that's going to be a trick on my mind, but I'm going to work towards it and slow down that savings rate so that I can come back and recover for my liability goal rate. And the yellow line is just to see an overall of my final goal, which is reaching my first 100K net worth. And the percent here is basically comparing, or for all of these, is just comparing the current month or the month just ended to the previous month. So from January to December, that was a 41% increase in my net worth. Then for the month of February, from January to March to February, from January to February, there was a 12% increase. Then it stayed the same, or another 12% increase in March. It went down by 2% in April, and it came back up to another, I believe, what is that, 11%. And from in this month, the last month that just passed. And so that is just a reference. And most of it is, a little volatile because it is mostly investment. And so I just want to keep an eye on it. And most of what is going to really, really affect the way that I see my net worth is that liability goes actually to 0%. And that's why it is a main aggressive goal this year, and it will be also part of next year. Hopefully by next year I can be debt free, and that will be really good. But that's what I'm working on. That's just what that looks like right now. Okay, so as I said, I had set myself a 6% debt payoff every month. And for last month, so for the month of May, I did not achieve that. I only paid 4%. And it is what it is. I did have more expenses, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yes, I had more expenses that I had planned for or budgeted for the previous month. And so I ended up having to, and well, that ended up impacting my 6% repayment goal. So that's the update for my debt repayment goal. I did not meet that. I only paid 4%, so I will not mark that as complete. The next one is to stay within budget. This one has been the hardest one, and I think I might have not hit it at any of the months so far. It's hard to stay within budget, and I think you know why? Because you don't plan well. I mean, by you I mean me. I'm not planning it well, I guess. I am really setting myself probably a little too strict. But yeah, let's jump in. So for food, I had budgeted 300. I only spent 262.34. So I was okay with that, still within budget. For gas, it was 150, my budget, and I spent 191.46. 150 is what I would typically spend if I'm just going to, my normal things, work, errands, and stuff like that. But when I start adding trips to a hike in the mountains or a surf down south, it adds up. And so that's the way that it shows. And so, sometimes those trips are very spontaneous. You don't know that at the beginning of the month. And so it's okay. It's just a good way to capture it, but it's not met. At least it's not within the budget. For disposable, to give myself some cash to spend out whatever, and it doesn't matter. I actually, I stayed within budget for that one. I had $50 planned. I spent $40. For eating out, this is the one that I was a little bit shocked last month, and I'm still shocked about it this month. My eating out, because the previous month I had spent a lot, I wanted to make sure that I captured what exactly was going into eating out, and I realized it was a lot. So for this last month, May, I wanted to make sure I limit myself, honestly. And so I set $50 for eating out. Well, I did go over budget by a lot. My actual spending eating out was $321.86. And as I said, I had a lot of things going on in the May that I did not account for. I did know some of that was gonna happen, but I just didn't think about it. Anyway, it's good. No regrets there. Clothing, I had allocated 0 because I had spent some the previous month, but I ended up spending $97.36 in May. And honestly, well, not that I needed, but I kind of needed new shoes, and so I ended up buying 2 pairs of shoes, one for walking around in Colombia and another one for the wedding, because I high heels to go with my dress that aren't too high because my feet get tired, and honestly I'm not regretting that either, so it is what it is. For my emergency fund allocation, I was able to meet the 400 that I had budgeted for, so that was met. The travel also, I had budgeted for 200. I ended up saving 269 almost, and the reason that is like an off number is because I have automatic transfers from my checking to my travel savings account, so that I don't have to do it. So every time I do a purchase or whatever, the bank will automatically do some surprise savings or something they call it into my travel savings, which has allowed me to save without even thinking about it or feeling it. So my other needs, I had allocated 150, ended up spending 265.53, and that's just, I did not know I needed to do a smoke check on my car this year. That's another story. But yeah, so other no needs, 50, I spent 56.15, not too bad there. For gifts, I had allocated 75 and I spent 99 almost. For my special travel bucket with my boyfriend, I had allocated 250, but I spent 600 because we had to do some money for Colombia, so that's it. In total, my whole budget allocation for last month was supposed to be $1,675, and I ended up spending $2,662.39. That hurts a little bit. To be fair, not all of it is fully like spending money, because I have 3 saving categories there, so I just consider that as spending because it's money that I'm not giving myself access to, or if I am, it's just for other things that are budgeted for, like sinking funds or whatever. So yeah, not too shabby. Yeah, it's a little bit a lot. Well, anyway, that is my stay within budget goal. And then the other one that I already mentioned is my savings goal. So my savings goal for what I had set last month was met, so that is within the budget tracker, and so that's it with my financial goals. Yeah. I can't believe I spent that much money. And well, for my personal goals last month, I didn't do as well as I had hoped for. I just didn't. I did not. I had a lot of social time. My family flew in from different places, from New Jersey, like the Bay Area, and people that live around here that don't typically, or at least I don't typically get together with them to celebrate anything. Or like, it's just I don't hang out with them. I got to see them, and that was like one of the highlights from last month. My little sister, she graduated from college, and my older sister flew in from Tampa. My brother came to visit from LA, so it was like another family reunion, just our like close family, to celebrate my sister, and that was also a highlight from last month. And so yeah, I ended up, that's why like the eating out and then like doing gifts more and then this and that, that's why it all just kind of went overboard. But it's great, like those are some of the things that you have to spend on when it's family quality time, at least in my opinion. And so because of that, because I did have a lot of social things here and there, I ended up slacking all my other goals, such as going to the gym 4 times per week, which is what was my goal for last month. I didn't meet that. I did like 1, 2, 3 maximum per week, and then yeah, I just did not do well on that one. My goal to read one book, I had mentioned I wasn't sure I was going to be able to finish the book How to Beat the Law of You Sick. It is a work something book, so like I need to read it and work on it. So I'm actually not going to count it as have it as a goal for 1 month. I'm going to take my time working through the book, and yeah, I'll let you know how I feel about that once it's already done. So that was not met. I did put my Think and Grow Rich on hold for now. It was being read as a friend group, and nobody really was reading it. At the same time, I really don't know what happened there. And so I'm just putting it on hold now. I'm gonna pressure myself to listen to it if it's now going to be discussed among the people that agreed to read it together. And for my uploading 1 video per week, I did meet that one. I released a few videos throughout the month, so go check them out if you haven't seen them. But yes, so that was met at least. For my career goals, I did start my mentorship program. I reached out to my mentor, which is man, it is pushing me out of my comfort zone, because I'd rather just do my thing, like meeting new people and just having conversation about things, or especially career-wise. It makes me very nervous, and it's definitely not within my comfort zone. And so doing that, I'm proud of myself because I had pushed myself to do that, and now I just have this other thing to work on for the goals that I'm setting with my mentor. But it should be a really good experience, and I'm looking forward to the end of the year when this program finalizes, and see what I have become from that. Hopefully something good. And my French classes, I'd attended my French classes. I had set the goal to learn 1 song in French, but I did not. I just didn't. I did not. I was like, actually my classes are on Wednesday, so after the class I feel so motivated to learn French, to practice, and I start talking to my friend, or I start like doing this in French, and then Thursday comes around and then I just completely forget, and then the weekend, and then I don't remember about it until the next class. So I'm really not trying as hard as I should, which I guess it's gonna be a continuous goal for next month, so that's what it's going to be. All in all, my reflection for last month is I did what I could with the time that I had, the energy that I had, and yeah, I did actually had to go to the doctor, and I had a doctor scare, I guess. Like I don't know how to read test results, and so I get really panicky about like things wrong with my health. And so yeah, like for a few days I was just very stressed out about that. And so anyway, that is all good thankfully. And so yeah, I didn't have the best energy in average throughout the month. I didn't have the best energy or the the best mindset about things. So I'm going to just acknowledge it and hope for a better month this month, or better thing this month. But yeah, so it wasn't as good as I expected it to be, or as I wanted it to be, but I did have major highlights that I really wanted to take away from this month, which was my sister's graduation, a family reunion for my uncle's daughter's quinceañera, and just seeing a lot of people that I had never seen before, or the last time they saw me was when I was a little baby living in New Jersey. And my birthday, I couldn't like say that I did not celebrate my birthday. My birthday is May 31st. I was in Bogota for my birthday, and my boyfriend came to meet me in Bogota as well, so we treated ourselves to a nice dinner at Deborah in Zone T or Sonate, and it was amazing. We had the full experience of like a 6-course meal paired with a cocktail for every meal, so we ended up a bit tipsy and super full. It was a great experience, except for the fact that we couldn't get through, at least I couldn't get through my dessert part of the whole thing. I really recommend it. I will have some more videos. I have videos actually, a few videos at least probably, coming from the trip to Colombia, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that was my birthday celebration in Bogota. This is the end of the reflection, and I think I'm gonna get going. I need to change out of this and get the day started. Yeah, so thank you for joining me on today's reflection for the first video of this monthly reset series, of this mid-year reset series. See you on the next one.